A district judge in Seattle federal court has issued a temporary restraining order against it. Right now, it is on hold. The executive order has been restrained so far.
So, what exactly happens after 2 weeks?
Basically, by that time, both the parties will submit their arguments whether the preliminary injunction should be issued, which means that everything is stopped until the court hears the merit of the case and then decides whether it's going to go or not.
How can expecting parents navigate the situation while the order is being contested in courts? Hi everyone, I am Priya from It's OKR, and with us today is an immigration lawyer, Sonal Sharma. She's not new to the channel, you've seen her plenty of times, and her details will be in the description. We are going to discuss a very important topic today. The topic is future of birthright citizenship in the US. Welcome, Sonal.
Hi, Priya, how are you?
Good. Sonal, there is so much going on with the new administration, as you are aware as well. So we'll get straight into it. And since the topic for today is birthright citizenship, can you just help us understand what the current status is?
Sure. So when President Trump came into office, the first thing he did was sign an executive order, which basically states that birthright citizenship is going to go away unless one of the parent is LPR or US citizen. Then soon after, number of lawsuits were filed, at least 5 that we know of that have been filed against that executive order. And a district judge in Seattle federal court has issued a temporary restraining order against it right now, which has been issued for 14 days. The next hearing is going to be in 2 weeks, and then we'll see what happens. Right now, it is on hold. The executive order has been restrained so far.
So what exactly happens after 2 weeks?
So the hearing is scheduled for February 6th. And on that day, both the parties, basically by that time, both the parties will submit their arguments, whether the preliminary injunction should be issued. What a preliminary injunction is basically while the case is pending, to keep this order in stay. So the case can go on while the executive order is implemented, where the court decides that we are not going to stop it. And if the case does not win, people don't win in the case, then we will, stop it. But in the meanwhile, we are not going to stop it. That's when no preliminary injunction is issued. But if a preliminary injunction is issued, which means that everything is stopped until the court hears the merit of the case and then decides whether it's going to go or not. So most likely on February 6th, that's what's going to happen. A preliminary injunction will be issued while the case is being litigated, which means that this EO, which is supposed to come in effect on February 20th, will not come into effect on February 20th until the case is being heard on merits. And then also, if suppose this court does not issue a preliminary injunction, there are other 4 cases which are also scheduled for hearing. One of them is scheduled on 5th February. So one or the other court can issue a preliminary injunction out of these 5 cases that have already been filed. And if they issue, because it's a nationwide EO, a nationwide injunction will mean that this will be halted until those cases are heard on merits and decided.
So no matter what, all the cases that are filed, even if the preliminary injunction is issued, then everything kind of stops from there and then everything is business as usual. However, if the preliminary injunction is not issued, then I think the executive order stays into place. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Got it. So we will find out more on February 5th once these hearings start into place, right?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
Perfect. So now I think the big question, how can expecting parents navigate the situation while the order is being contested in courts?
Well, it's business as usual at this point. As long as the preliminary injunction is going to come in, right now there is a temporary injunction. And if the preliminary injunction comes in, then everything is on hold and everything is business as usual. And it's going to take some time for this matter to get resolved. It's not going to happen within a matter of days. So at this point, you just go about your business as usual, nothing to worry about. It's a very contentious matter. It's not going to be easy. to just like take away the birthright citizenship. So, but legal challenges are there, and we'll see how it goes. But right now, nothing to worry about.
Got it. So, on the legal challenges, how long do these legal battles last for such a change to take place?
Well, it depends how quickly the courts are going to hear the matter, right? So once on the February 5th or 6th, if a preliminary injunction is issued, then the next hearing could be within weeks or within months. So generally it takes like at least, well, these depend on the nature of the issue as well, right? This is, if both the parties want this to go on a high speed, then it will move faster depending on the court's docket and everything. But it can take months and it can take years as well, depending on how far the parties would like to go. So say if district court says nothing doing on merits, says this is unconstitutional, and if the administration does not want to appeal it, then it dies there, right? Because now you have a decision from district court which is not being appealed. But most likely in this case, whatever the decision is going to be, it's probably going to be appealed to the circuit court, or they might try to go directly to the Supreme Court, asking Supreme Court to pick it up directly. Also, because there are different cases in different federal courts now, if there are going to be contradicting judgments, that might also play a role, whether it goes directly to Supreme Court. So we'll see how it goes, but it can take months or maybe years, depending on what the outcome of these first stage litigation is going to be.
Got it. And with all the information we have, even if it has a 0.01% chance of going through, how will the amendment take place?
So it will require a constitutional amendment, which means the 14th Amendment in the Constitution will need to be amended to either change the language or like add a new amendment or whatever. But that would require at least 2/3 vote in the House and the Senate, as well as ratification by 3/4 of the states. So that is going to be a long process, and it's very hard to achieve given the requirements that you need supermajority in Congress as well as ratification by 3/4 of the states. It's going to be a process which is going to take a longer time if it were to happen, but likely it's not going to happen.
And any advice or last words on this topic, especially for a lot of people on H-1B visas, O-1 visas, F-1 visas? I feel like people are just feeling a lot of panic. Anything else that you would share that would help them?
Well, see, it is enshrined in the Constitution. So for it to go away, either there must be a constitutional amendment or the Supreme Court has to reinterpret it radically. Right? If Supreme Court says like today it goes to Supreme Court and Supreme Court says this is what we think 14th Amendment says and agrees with the government, then that's a separate story, right? But it's very unlikely that that's going to happen as well, because the legislative history of the 14th Amendment is robust, and there is clear evidence which shows that it was discussed while debating about 14th Amendment and its language, that even though some aliens or foreigners must be restricted from becoming citizens even when they are born here, such as diplomats, right? There might be a set of aliens whose children will still be considered subject to jurisdiction of the US if they are born on US soil. Like there was an act, a Chinese Exclusion Act, under that it was said that even those Chinese immigrants cannot become US citizens, but their children who are born here will be subject to jurisdiction. So even though there was a specific act and law in place which excluded certain people to become citizens, their children were still considered to be US citizens because they were born here. So there is a robust, legislative history behind it, and we'll see if the US Supreme Court thinks very radically and tries to reinterpret it, but that's the only way it's going to happen. So otherwise, I think it's a constitutional right at this point, and it's going to be a difficult uphill battle to take it away.
Got it. And this is a very layman question, but say the Supreme Court for some reason says go ahead with it and gives it the green light, then it still needs to go through the amendment process, which is the 2/3, or does that
What?
not?
No, in that case, no, because then they are interpreting the already existing amendment and saying this is what it means.
Got it.
So in that case, no, amendment will not be required, because now Supreme Court is saying this is what the words mean. And if the word mean that people who are illegal or undocumented in this country, their children will not get the green card or US citizenship because they are born here unless one of the parent is subject to the jurisdiction of US, then amendment will not be required. But again, we're going back to this question: what does subject to jurisdiction means? So for Supreme Court to say that yes, they are subject to laws of the country and US has the right to criminally prosecute them, would mean that they are subject to the jurisdiction. But then to say that they are not subject to jurisdiction because they are undocumented and do not get birthright citizenship kind of contradicts itself. So that is why it is not going to be that easy to understand, like, oh, Supreme Court can do it. Most likely it's not going to be interpreted that way.
Yeah, especially given the robust legislative history, like you mentioned.
Mhm.
Got it. Okay, that is super helpful. And I hope for everyone who's listening, I hope it calms down your nerves a little bit. And remember, if things aren't going your way, it's okay, and they will eventually turn around. Thank you, Sonal, for joining us. This is one of the first ones that we have done in 2025 and more to come. So stay tuned.